up, Sunday people? What's up, Omer? How you doing?
Doing well. How's it going?
Good, man. So, I know yesterday you did your live stream, and actually, this is as much for me as it is for Omer or anybody else listening. Because I'm going to try and condense whatever we talk about here today into some short videos, like like a Para 101 more, and then or at least like each feature of Para in a 3-minute video. Here's Para flagging, here's Para stars, here each 3 minutes explaining it after we do all this. So I want to get everything I can and learn from you guys as well so that I can take that back and do that right. I do want to start off by saying that I've been with Para since they started because I was working with David with autonomy.jobs before Para was even a thing, a thought in his head. And I am definitely more on the side of the ParaWorks team and in trying to implement that into many cities. So if you guys have questions about ParaWorks, because it is an amazing feature. I know right now we only have it in the Bay Area in San Francisco. We are all the way out to Sacramento, and we are down south a little bit, almost to LA, and about to be in LA. But soon we'll be moving out of the state of California. We already have a few target cities, and it's a great way to stack with your existing work, reduce down your downtime, and work more efficiently, and discover new revenue streams. Like especially if you're a shopper or things like that. Right now, ParaWorks can make it so that you can like double what you make on an Instacart run. So and only by adding like 5 minutes while you're at a certain store. So it's really quite a cool thing. So always looking to make sure that we all earn more. That's the goal, right?
Yeah,
We're not out here doing this for fun. We're out. I mean, we try and make it fun, but we're out here doing it to make money. That's the bottom line.
that's true.
What's
Uh,
up, Roy? Oh no, Omer is here, laughing out loud. Actually, Xander's supposed to be here too. Omer was on time. He's he's been great. So whatever. Hey, Marissa. Hey, Lisa. What's up, guys? We are waiting on Omer, but so yeah, Xander, you were or Omer, you were using Para for was yesterday the first time?
I've used it before here and there randomly, but it was when before you got that letter cease and desist and all that after it was shut down. I guess
Okay.
that's the right way of you know.
So
Um,
you did it after the first time tip transparency was around. So it was no longer on the app.
correct. So I
Okay.
I haven't I haven't used it for months.
Right.
I don't remember the time frame. So yesterday was actually the very first time for me to go in and look at the actual. I took a couple of screenshots, took the actual order. Saw what Para showed me, and from the two or three orders that I did, it was pretty darn accurate. So I. I enjoyed. I mean, like I was telling you earlier before we went live, I wish I had used it today. Today would have been a great opportunity for me to, But I'm jumping ahead, so I apologize.
Well, no. But so yesterday, what just turning it on, just getting it hooked up, turning it on, what'd you learn? Or what'd you think?
I didn't know about the star, so I was actually glad when I was doing the live stream. You told me, I learned about the star. I didn't even pay attention to that, so I went back and looked at it. And when I got the next order, I knew, you told me it was it 98% accurate. So then I went back and then I looked at the star and I compared it, and it was accurate. It was exactly what it said it was. So, you
Well,
know,
no, so yeah, that's the thing. If so the prediction model is 98 to 100% accurate in all markets right now to be the correct tip. And if it's not, this is without a star. And if it's not, usually the only issue we encounter is people saying, you guys said it was this for the order and a $4 tip, and then it ends up being an $8 tip. We cannot predict if people will add money to a tip. Some people do after a delivery go, gosh, my last delivery was so bad. This one I'm going to add a little money because it came a lot quicker. It was a lot better to service. And they go in and add. We obviously there's no way to predict if somebody's going to say, I'm going to add more. I mean, so when we get that ping, all we can do is take the raw data and say, hey, this is what it is. If it turns into more, great.
yeah.
It's that's not something that's based on probably your service. So we say 98 to 100, but as David said when he was on, it's 99 point something to 100 when there's a star next to it. When there's a star next to it, it basically means take it and the tip is secured.
Okay.
What's up,
Another thing.
Xander?
What's up, y'all?
Hey, Xander.
What?
Sorry I'm late.
That's all right, man. Internet issues, huh?
Yeah, but of all the days.
Yeah. Well, I have them sometimes here too, man. They happen, you know. What's up, Arturo? What's up,
we have
Mac?
some
Hey,
we have some
Mac. We
strong
haven't seen you in a while.
we have some strong winds out here in the outskirts of California for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, because Omer was looking at your area code and he's like 323. That's Michigan. I'm from Michigan. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm
No,
like
that's not Michigan.
313, 616, and
Yeah.
517 are Michigan.
No,
I'm like,
323
yeah, I knew it was
is
LA.
yeah.
I knew it was LA.
Yeah, 323 is South Los Angeles to be more exact.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So,
in the 951 area code now, which is Riverside County.
oh, so you're kind of down by John McCallion and stuff.
Yeah, it's called the Inland Empire. We call
Yeah, I know where you're. Yeah, I
it's
know.
like a high desert region area. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's
If you're
I've seen a couple Facebook groups about Inland Empire. At first, I didn't know what it meant. I
Yeah.
was like, "What is the Inland?" And I know California pretty well. But what's up, Flex?
Yeah.
Flex, I'll drop a link here into the show notes in just a few minutes. I just wanted to go through some of the basics first because yesterday Omer was doing, and as he just said a minute ago before you came on, Xander, he was doing the, you know, what I would call for the first time, because the first time that you're talking about that you did have para was after the tip transparency and when we were trying to rebuild some of the other things. And so now you pulled it back up when a lot of things have reconnected. Grubhub with distance. The Uber Eats is in beta mode for anybody that wants to use it. And the tip transparency is pretty accurate, the estimator. You know, pretty damn accurate actually. So I'll be careful on my words there, but so okay, the flagging feature, did you get it down, Omer or Xander? Have you tried it? Do you guys understand the flagging feature?
No, I haven't tried the Power app. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm actually looking to learn a little bit about it because I don't know if you've Omer talked about this, but when I first heard about the Power app, I was one of the few saying, guys, what are you doing?
You know, I'm the driver advocate for para, and nobody really ever gets this, but that was the thing I said to people. People don't even know I wasn't a salesman. I was almost there to like help you. If you came in and you're like, I want to do it right now. Yes, I'd help you. But if you came in and you're like, I'm not sure about this data privacy thing, can you prove to me? I'd be like, don't do it right now. I straight up, it would confuse people. I'd be like, don't do it.
Right.
You know, I'd be like, because there's some things I just can't prove to you. But don't do it then. Don't do it.
Yeah, and that was one of the issues that I had. It wasn't so much as far as I was all in favor. Hey, if you want to use this app, fine. But my biggest concern was the sales pitch that was being provided out there. Just the sales tactics that was being pushed. You're using it under your own discretion. If you get deactivated, then that's on you. And so that's the part that I had problems with. I was like, well, how exactly is this supposed to help people knowing that there could be that potential or probability of being deactivated? How exactly are you helping the community with this? So
the first thing that most people don't know is that from like February or late January 2021 until March 2021, when we launched non-beta, we had hundreds of beta users that were willing to really risk it too and do some like crazy stuff that might flag DoorDash. Nobody got deactivated. I'm talking about like 600-700 people. We did it for like 6 weeks. Nobody had any issue. All of them in perfect shape. And this is when we were learning it. We still to this day, nobody got deactivated. Not one person that even has an email saying you were deactivated for using this. We had people who were using para calling DoorDash support for para, and they didn't get deactivated. So clearly this is not a deactivation issue. They came after us, which is what you'd expect. It's like when a cop busts a drug dealer, they want to go up the ladder. They're not looking to just put that guy away.
Right.
So they already knew this is where it's feeding from. So they wanted to come right at us. You know, there was one cease and desist. We put it back up. There was a second, took it down. And then we started working on our other projects like ParaWorks and stuff. And that's more my focus, as I was telling Omer when we first started. But now there's all kinds of additions back. And we do have an attorney. So all I can say to people is that just know that there's some things that we can't talk about legally. But if after all that, we've gone back to what we're doing, it should tell you a lot, because the second cease and desist was an actual threat of $1 million of lawsuits against us.
Right.
And I'll tell you right now, none of us want that.
Yeah.
None of us at Para. And Para was originally David, Jeff, and me after Autonomy. Then we brought in Jimmy. And then it was the four of us all through that crazy period. Now it's like 25 people. You know, there's like a bunch of people involved with Para now. So none of us want that. So we're using the attorney also to make sure that we are staying within bounds of what could get us in trouble. So I would say the first signal to any of you guys would be, and here's how easy it would be, that if we think that anybody's in trouble, the Para app will go down. You will see the Para app not working. If the Para app's not working, then maybe we are facing a little bit of an issue. But I can't promise anything, and I never would. Same thing I told people before. This is, of course, read the DoorDash terms of service. Does this go against it? It's iffy. You know, it depends on how a lawyer reads it. But, you know, yes, it might. But read it for yourself and I always said make your own decisions. Here's the bottom line, how I see it and why I'm so involved in this. I was an independent contractor for many years before Uber even launched in 2009. So I still did independent contractor work for all kinds of other things. When those came around and took away all the rights of the independent contractor, but then demanded we be it, I still do want to be it. But when they took away all the rights that come with being an independent contractor, it made me really upset. So the fact that they have written extra code to hide things, to play these games, to make sure that markets have 4 times as many drivers are needed so that nobody can make any money, but so that they're covered, is pathetic. So we're kind of the advocacy position that we're trying to do for the drivers what they have the right to see. So if you agree with that moral compass, if you've been an independent contractor, if you know the definition of an independent contractor, which is what all of them call us, you might find yourself having to make a moral decision. But I will say this, every one of these companies, and DoorDash especially, are the top unethical companies in the world. So if you're questioning your ethics, like, should I do this? Just remember, you are working on a platform for a company that is unethical as a company can be.
Right.
So, I mean, if they were an ethical company, would we be doing this? No, because one of the first things we said when we got a cease and desist was, dude, we'll take the whole damn app and website down as long as you show the drivers what they're going to make. You do it. We told DoorDash that. You do it, and we'll take it down. You know what their lawyer response was? No. So they straight up admitted, we're not going to be honest with our drivers. No.
They'll be out of business.
Well, but sorry, that's not a reason to be unethical, though. Grubhub, before the pandemic, Grubhub had a waiting list of a year or whatever because they wouldn't put more people into a market than they needed. Yep. Right. So my point being, there's that. Okay, I can't say where they are now, but that says to me that that Grubhub at that time was an ethical company. They realized if we just allow everybody to onboard, nobody's going to have any work.
Yep.
So that's even an ethical move. None of these apps do that anymore. They don't care. They're just flooding it, hoping that they have somebody every 3 blocks to take an order. And if that means nobody makes any money, they don't care. They don't
care about that. Yeah, exactly.
No, they don't. I mean, we've been through this 100 times. They don't care about the video or about the drivers. We're just a cog in the machine to them, And I don't even
Yeah.
know what kind of cog we are, because to be honest, none of these companies make any money. So,
Right.
you know, obviously they're washing things, and I don't want to get into it, but there's some dirty play going on, because they're not just doing this out of the goodness of their heart to help drivers not earn either. But getting back to Para, yeah, you're going to have to read the DoorDash terms of service, which 99.9% of people have not even read. They just click agree. And my point about that is, do you even know what you've agreed to? So when you're
I can
saying I don't want
guarantee
to,
you-
I don't want to
yeah.
get in trouble with DoorDash because you might get in trouble with this app. Well, okay, do you even know what you agreed to?
I was going to say that at the beginning. How many gig workers actually read the terms of service?
It's less than
Oh,
1%.
that's an easy answer, dude.
It's
You're
less
probably
than
looking
1%.
at probably what 99.8% maybe.
I don't know. Gary even had it. Gary Middleton had it even figured high, like worse. He was like, no, but he like Gary read it once and he came on the thing, and everybody was like hush listening to him because he wasn't reading it. He was just telling you the bullet points you needed from the update. And it was
Right.
funny. There was like 30 people who were like screaming in the chat and talking over each other, and all of a sudden everybody was like whisper quiet listening, like, wait, what did the TOS that I agreed to say? Because it's like they all already agreed to it, because you couldn't be working the platform unless
Couldn't
you
be
did.
working exactly. Yeah,
So it's like you guys already agreed to it. Came out 3 days ago.
yeah.
You know, but it's like nobody reads it. So I just want to shout out a couple people.
No,
here.
and then also, you know, if let's say you're that busy, you know, that you don't have a time in a day to look over the terms of service. At least, like you said, you know, the bullet points. You know, you can easily bookmark the TOS when you get it, you know, via email or whatever. You know, bookmark it on your phone. And
but part of their trick is that when you first know there's a TOS update is when you open the app.
it's when you
So
open
like
the app.
I'm going to work right now. You open the app and there's a TOS update. It's not like then you're saying like you can't say I'm going to read it after work because you're trying to work right now. To work, you have to agree.
Right.
I mean, dude, if they did it by email first, like a day ahead of time, that'd be much different. Some might get up to like 1 or 2% do read it. You know, it's like, but when it's you're going to work, you don't read it. You got to work. And that's, I mean, that's scarier to me than putting my information into Para. Again, you know, Para was created as like a portal for people to come into. It was supposed to be like a, you know, like a toolbox for gig workers. You come in and say, I work these different apps. Okay, I'm going to check this, and this one out. And we just want to keep adding more features so that you can come in and control your own what you hook up to what and what you want to know about what. But we do expect that everybody in there either has read the terms of service or at least is understanding that, okay, I've heard whatever I've heard about Para. I'm not going to read the terms of service on these companies, so I'm just going to agree to it. And in either case, I got to say the blame goes back on the user. So if you're going to blindly agree to use Para, that's on you.
That's on you.
If you've read the terms of service, which we ask you to do, and you agree to use Para, that's on you. So I would never tell somebody use Para, never. But if somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I want to use Para," I'll hook them up. I'll help them out. I'll tell them what to do. You know, I'll walk them through things, whatever. But I will never be a salesman that's going to push it down your throat.
Yeah.
You know, by the way, what's up, Flex, Arturo, Driven Dad, Mort? These are the people who have come in since the beginning. Pedro, Roy and Mac, I already saw you guys. Crispy, what's up? But yeah, so the flagging feature. Omer, I know you were asking me about that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the flagging feature, you guys, is awesome. It you know, there's something like it in the Middleton app too, DUH. And I will tell you guys that putting the two together is a great, it makes things like as awesome as they can be. Like DoorDash with driver utility helper and Para is awesome. Because now you're gonna be able to only accept the Para offers you want that show what you want, but you can also take the driver utility helper and set all the parameters of what you don't want, so you don't even bother seeing those on the Para. I don't want to go farther than 15 miles. Okay, now driver utility helper will filter out even the para offers that are further than that. So now you're only going to see whatever you've contained in the DUH, but the para way. And actually, Gary has an integrated thing that makes it so that you can see it through the driver utility helper. It's pretty awesome. But the flagging feature is great. Flagging is not just a bad thing. If you guys thought that, you can flag things as this guy was a great tipper. The next time that guy orders, if it comes through to you, because in some markets people say you never get the same person, you do sometimes, especially with food and stuff. So it'll come through and it'll show your flag. This guy's a great tipper. You can flag an apartment complex and say, I hate this place. It's too difficult to park. I can't, and then that'll come through. Even if you see a great tip and you're like, you'll see your flag. Wait, this place is horrible. You didn't like it. You'll know, oh, wait, that's that place. I don't want to go there. So the flagging feature works all kinds of ways. It can work as a positive or a negative. And then it helps us kind of track too, like, it helps us learn with time, like, okay, bad tips are coming out of these apartments and everybody's flagging this apartment as junk. So down the road, as we get even more precise, maybe it helps us to kind of like weed that back a bit as not a good order. Let's see. The earnings feature, so that you can break down all of your earnings and see where they came from. I don't know if you guys are doing that.
Actually, I'm going to delete Gridwise now that I know it's on there. I don't need Gridwise anymore. I don't even know my password half the time. So I can have all of this on one app. I used to use Gridwise for my earnings, tracking my earnings. So I think this is a great option.
You guys, Gridwise is a great product too, though. I will say, I know that sounds weird that I always talk about all the other apps too that like are kind of like what the things we do, but it's another great app. But yeah, we do have, that's why we're trying to put them all in, other things into one.
Yeah.
But so ParaWorks, we talked about that a bit. The stars feature. So the stars feature is big because the stars, people have asked me about this. So if you listen to the interview I did with David, he said 97 to 100%. It's about 98 to 100% accurate on the tip, on the tip transparency portion of the DoorDash rides on any given ride. On a star ride, it's about 99.9 to 100% accurate that tip is correct. Meaning 100. Because the only reason I even say 99 is because people can add to a tip after the fact,
and they can deduct the tip if they wanted to as well, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if like you're familiar with DoorDash. You can't. I didn't even know about this till recently, and I should have known about this a long time ago because this isn't a new integration. But I didn't even know until a couple months back that on DoorDash you can't just go in there and take the tip out. You have to call DoorDash. And I've advocated for that for a long time, that you should need to call. You should need to have a reason if you're going to pull a tip back. And I think that dissuades a lot of people from tip baiting. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to be like putting a tip in so that you get something quick or to make somebody think they're getting money. And then you're like, I'm not going to give them the tip. And then you have to call in. It sounds like it wouldn't be that hard, but if you're the type of person who's that would do tip baiting in the first place, it makes it that much more that you probably won't call. I don't know. I don't see a lot of tip. We don't hear about a lot of tip baiting on DoorDash. It's more Uber Eats when it is.
Instacart as well. You hear a lot.
Yeah, Instacart is what I call the worst app of all of them. So yeah, I don't even. Some people in some markets say it's still possible. I don't think you can earn any money on Instacart. That's my personal opinion. And I always, you guys know me, I always talk market to market, but I'm talking about the U.S. overall.
The overall picture of it.
Yeah, if you asked my opinion, what's the worst app out there? Without a hesitation, I say Instacart. It's Instacart.
Well, yeah, it's a huge problem on Uber Eats. I've had like arguments with the support where, for example, you show up and they choose the option to wait in the car. Timer goes out. And you call support, they just want to cancel the order. And what happens? You get half the pay, right? You don't get your tips. And I argued with them. I said, you don't understand. If you cancel my order, I'm not going to get paid for the entire thing. And, it's not only that, it's tip baiting is a huge issue on Uber Eats. I've had it happen to me 3-4 times, and I kind of like that DoorDash is kind of, they lock you in, and this is actually, I support that.
I do too. I think every app should make you, if you need to pull back a tip, you need to talk to customer support. Because if you're gonna pull back a tip, something went wrong, or else you're an asshole. And either way, the company needs to know about that.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're not going to call DoorDash and go, well, I was just doing it to get my order quicker. You're going to come up with some reason, even if you don't have a legitimate one. And you're going to say, oh, well, he did a bad job. I just don't, I don't get it. You should have to call in rideshare, delivery, any of these that allow tips. You should have to call in. But yeah, I mean, the flagging system that, I know, Omer, before Xander came on, you were saying, I really wanted to, I don't know how many more you did. Oh, Bud Soda, I love it when you disagree with me about Instacart. I'm sorry, Bud Soda. I meant Instacart is the best one out there. Go for it.
Steve, I actually used the tipping, the flagging option on Grubhub yesterday. I was doing multi-apping, and then, sometimes you just accept an order just because it looks good. It was like 6 miles, $10. And what I like is, I wish that was available on the DoorDash orders as well. You get the dollar per mile ratio. And I'm like, okay, $6, what is that? 1.7 something in my head. I'm calculating, but now it's telling me. But anyway, I flagged the person because I would have actually taken that delivery. However, when I went back and I looked at there was no tip, I canceled that order immediately. It was $10 for 6 miles. In my head, it would have been fine. But when I saw that there was no tip, I actually flagged that customer. I used the option yesterday. I went through my list and I canceled the order.
Right. And as you should, because that person didn't decide to pay $10 for that delivery through there. My guess is it had been dropped by another person or whatever. And it was getting the timeline was getting too long. So that's when DoorDash starts throwing money on it to get it taken by somebody. You know what I mean? So it's like that $10 was probably just that bare minimum that the people who ordered the order had to pay in the beginning. And then DoorDash is like, nobody's taken this, or 2 drivers have dropped it. We got to put a little more on it because we got to get this order out. Yeah. So I mean, that's still a no tipper in my book. So even though it might have been a decent pay, you learn through Para that guy sucks.
Which brings me to another question. Why is it not showing the dollar per mile ratio on DoorDash orders? Is that something that you're going to look into?
Yeah, all of it we're looking into, man. It's just like, if we grab one piece, we don't wait till the whole package is done. We're putting up any piece that we get at a time. Like Uber Eats feature right now is in beta mode, and all it's doing is just telling you the address of where the order is going to. But that can be huge to people. I mean, I can think of a lot. I don't know. To me, that's huge. If I'm doing Uber Eats and I see this order is going to here, okay, now I can make that decision if I want it or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like Uber Eats is too much of a shot in the dark of what you're getting and how far you're going to be going. And
they play these games with you, man. You're like, the moment you decline so many orders, then they're hiding stuff, and it's like you literally. That's why I don't turn on Uber Eats unless I know I'm really gonna work. It discourages me from having the app on all the time, because the moment you decline way too many, then they're hiding the information from you. And
we have that issue. We have that issue out here in California on the rideshare side of Uber, where because of the whole Prop 22 thing that passed, Uber kind of tweaked a few things on it, where you have to accept a total of 5 rides in order to get trip details. But like Omer says, if you start declining too many incoming requests, those trip details get taken away as well on the rideshare side of Uber. Yeah.
So I'm taking a little advantage in eating while I'm.
What? Flex is eating? No way.
Middleton is
Very
responding.
Are we
to
still doing the free flex campaign?
No, he's free. No, he's freed.
Oh, he's been free.
Don't talk about politics.
Yeah, but that's what I was putting up was the Gary Middleton stuff. So like I told, if you're just joining us, I was talking about the perfect,
Gary,
have DUH and have the para for the sandwich. Because honestly, you can then set your parameters of what you want to see through para. So if you're liking para, but all the orders are coming through, now you can take the DUH features and set all your parameters. Like, this is all the kind of orders I want to take. And then you'll only see the para offers come through for that. And Gary even has an integration on there, on the DUH app for it. So he is definitely, putting those two together is awesome. That's, I don't know, if you really want to sit down and do it right. And Flex, maybe you can expand on that a little bit.
if you get spammed with a lot of orders, you definitely want those two together, synced.
Yeah, because at first Para's great. You're watching it all come in, but then it starts turning into just DoorDash again with all the bad orders too. So you're still getting, oh God.
Like if you were to get the utility app, you really need to click on the settings of the application and really look at every option and see if you really want to use that option or not. But set your settings for like the mileage. Over, if you got certain stores that you got banned, you could override them just in case if you wanted to go in there. Like I got my Walmarts that instantly banned. They get automatically declined. But if an order comes in for like $30, $40, I get to decide, do I want to go in there and deal with the fat jerk off that's in there, or decline?
Is
Right.
the utility helper still $10 a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, $9.99. But you better off.
But dude, you gotta remember that
pay for the year. It's only $100. It's $99. It's $100.
Right.
It's well worth it.
I mean, I was just gonna say, dude, like you make that up in a few days. Like if you decide to pay the year up with DUH, you should make that up in at least a week. At most.
Man, I can't.
But I would say
that.
a few days. Well, you got to think of it different though. It's not like,
No, I know. I'm kidding.
How do I like justify that payment? It's more like you've already made it up when you don't even know you have, because once you set all those parameters, you can literally just say, okay, I'm not seeing any of the crap I don't want. That headache alone being gone is huge, because they know, dude, these companies are very well aware of the tactics, the exact sound that they use to alert you, things like that, and what it does to your sensories. They actually do studies on this stuff. So the dinging, the donging going on, the more you can shut that down, the better. And the more focused you'll be on driving.
Do you have Omer's email?
Who are you asking?
Gary.
Oh.
Give Omer the year and charge my card for it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Thumbs up in the chat.
Dude, I don't even have a phone. Listen,
that's a good way. That's a good way to explain what I was just trying to say. One $10 order a month pays for DUH and gets rid of the headaches, noises, and bells. So there you go. I mean, like, unless you don't get one $10 order a day, in which case I would tell you to go find another job because you're not making any money. So, but yeah, I mean, it's huge to be able to filter it all down to all that, to what you want. And like Flex was saying, keep it close. You might live in a rural area that has a population of 2,000. And maybe you need to set those parameters a lot different. Maybe there's never traffic. Maybe you're willing to drive a little farther. Maybe you're willing to take orders that those of us in bigger areas wouldn't. So it's to each his own. And like Gary said, there's literally thousands of filters. And it's not to overwhelm or scare you, because you can start off with the basic ones, but there's thousands of filters you can get to. You can get this thing so tweaked down that it's only exactly what you'd want. Period.
Hey guys, I gotta go. I'll keep listening. I gotta go home. But thank you for the opportunity, Steve.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate it, dude. Because before you do go, I do know that yesterday, how many orders did you do? And were they all right?
I did. I got the 2 with the star, and the other one. All 3 were accurate on DoorDash. My Grubhub order, I ended up canceling, so I flagged that. So I did a total of 4 deliveries using the Para. 3 on DoorDash, 1 on Grubhub.
And the 3 tips on DoorDash through
We're
Para
accurate, all of them.
were accurate, and
Yes.
the mileage on Grubhub was right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So the 4 things were right. So, well, thank you for that. Keep using it, man. Let us know. Keep checking back.
Yep, definitely. You guys enjoy. I'll keep listening.
Thanks, Omer.
Time goes by, the more accurate it's going to be, more better.
Can you reset the settings for times when it's slow and you might want to adapt your minimums? Which are we talking about? Gary's apps?
I think so.
Yeah, in fact, Pedro, we did I don't know if you know, we did a roundtable on Monday for MAXYMO. And one of the greatest things that came up, and I think that and it's a person Gary knows who uses the app, who's on the panel really well, Bruce, brought up it'd be great if you could have different like profile settings, like profile 1, 2, 3. So that like profile 1 is your evening, profile 2 is your afternoon, profile 3 is your slow time, so that you could accept different things during your, during those type, switch over to the profile that you want. But I don't know, Flex, as a heavy user of both of these, what is some major perks of Para that you could tell people that they should know about?
It's that,
I mean, other than the transparency, the flagging feature, which ones are you using out of the features?
the most is the transparency that I use.
Yeah, of
the
course.
flagging is obviously is the next level that you could, just in case, right? Let's say you flag a bad customer and a good customer, right? Let's say Para did not pick up the next time that, for instance, that customer ordered, and Para didn't pick it up that time, for instance, right? But you got the flag feature saying like, hey, this is the good customer that tipped me, but the order shows up for $6.75.
Right.
So you might want to take it because it says, hey, this depends how you worded it in there. This guy tipped me so and so much, this and that, or other way around, just in case if it didn't pick it up. That's the flagging feature of it, because it doesn't say and come up and shows you the name what it is unless you put it in there.
Right.
So, what else we got?
The stars feature, and I was going over that, how the star means, dude, I mean, I say 99.9, but I mean the star means you got it.
It's 100% what that means right there for what's next to the star. That number is 100% that's going to show on your
Yeah.
completion after you complete that order. Whatever comes afterwards, it's beyond anybody how much
Right.
they're going to tip you. But usually when it's a star, it's a guarantee. That's going to be it right there.
Yeah. Well, there's a question I just had here. Oh, so I did talk about this a few minutes ago, but so Pull My Gig, he says, I had one inaccurate with Para the other day, but it was more than they predicted. And I was just talking about that, how one thing that can happen is that can happen right there, because for a few reasons. Maybe it caught it wrong for one, but maybe somebody added to the tip, because there's no way for us to predict if somebody adds to the tip. We can't, we can't tell you that.
It happens. It
Right.
happens.
It happens.
Because Jay rejected an order for $14. That order came in for my phone for $14, but Para read it for 30 something dollars. But to Jay, Para read it for $14. It can, confirm that it's 14 what it's showing on the app.
Right.
But when it came to me, Para read it differently and gave me the actual full tip. So whatever happened within that, the airwaves when it hit Jay's phone and Para calculating it, that's it right there. So maybe when it hit my phone, it did a better calculation, better processing, and gave me a better readout.
Right. Right. I mean, who knows?
So that
I mean,
was a few weeks ago. So Para had, maybe the guy's doing updates and whatever. It's always.
yeah. I
It's
mean, the
always
other thing too is that maybe, somebody was just a little slow and things said, they hit okay order and then they're like, hey, what should we tip on this? And during that, we don't know how DoorDash works. During that talking time, that order got sent to Jay. Now they're slowly entering in the tip. He didn't accept it. Now it went through to you and it's showing the tip. I mean, we don't know how quickly the DoorDash app sends it out. They might not wait to you, even if you're still doing it till you enter the tip. They might start sending it out because they, how they work. I mean, an order could get canceled and it gets canceled. I mean, like even if the person had already ordered it and then it's like, and they go through the pain, it's still canceled. So, I mean, they could change that. They could slowly be going through it. They could have, had somebody asking them a question in the background, set down the phone while they're making the order and didn't enter the tip yet, and then picked their phone back up, realized it, and put it in. So there's all kinds of factors on why that could happen. But yeah, I mean, you don't need to just wait for the you don't need to just wait for the stars. They're all good. They're all good orders. I mean, if they're what they are. If you see it and you don't like it, don't take it. It's the same thing. I don't know. Here's how I see it. It's the same thing as being on DoorDash and having to guess whether you're going to take it or not. Now you still have to decide if you want to take it, but you have a lot more information. Like I was talking about in the beginning, an independent contractor should have all of that information up front. Nobody takes on a job as an independent contractor and they just say, go do all this work and then we'll pay you at the end of the day. What are you going to pay me? Well, we'll just figure it out then. Nobody does that. And that's pretty much how DoorDash standalone works. Here's what you're going to get paid. And then there's at least this much of a tip. Like they're just kind of, it's gaming you. It's just gaming you to take them. And so, I mean, we honestly, after I said this earlier too, there's a lot more people in this now, but to be honest, when I was talking to Omer in the very beginning, these companies operate on being not moral. So I tell everybody, read the TOS, if you don't read the TOS and you decide to sign up for Para, on you. If you go and you did read the TOS and you sign up for Para, on you. I don't ever talk people into doing Para. I just tell people that if they're ready for Para, I'll help them get on and I'll do my part as the driver advocate to help you out. But I will never if you call me and say, hey, prove to me why I should have Para, I'll say you shouldn't. Don't get it. That simple. Because I don't want anybody ever getting it and then telling me, you told me that. I mean, to this day, we don't know of one deactivation. And in end of August 2021, when the second cease and desist from DoorDash came, we had, over 200,000 users on the app. So if we didn't have any deactivations, they were coming after the company, not after drivers. But I will never promise you that because you guys should be reading these TOSs. I know Gary's in here. Gary reads them. He always is up to date with what's going on with the TOS. And also, again, I got to mention that integration, guys. If you are liking Para and you're doing DoorDash, put a little bit of that money into the DUH platform too, because you're like liking Para, but you could really optimize this to where it's doing the work for you. You have to do the driving. You have to do the physical labor of getting the food and getting it to the place. But let the AI, just like it drives these apps, let it drive the orders you take. Instead of you being behind the wheel trying to figure it out like they want you to be and having to do it while you're driving and this and that and the other. Let these apps do it.
Yeah, and you don't have to buy a subscription for a year. Just get one single month just to try it out.
Yeah.
Just to try out all the premium.
Yeah, my challenge on that one would be if you do it for a month and you work the exact same hours that month, I would guess, at least you make, and this is at very least, let's say you work 30 hours a week. If you work 1 hour a week, I couldn't say this, but if you work, let's say 30 hours a week and you made X amount in 1 month and then you decide you're going to do DUH for a month, and you set those parameters to what you want, I would say that, because I mean, some of the people that we talked to on the roundtable with MAXYMO said 1.5 times as much, but I'll at least say that you're at least going to make $100 more that month, at least. And that means you 10 times paid off what you paid for the app. But that's at least. I would think you're going to make 1.3 to 1.6 times as much.
Well, it doesn't matter, man. We spend money on a regular basis on random dumb stuff. So
yeah. No, but why not filter
nothing.
why not filter the coolest thing about Gary's app is filter it to what you want. Because we're all different. Some people might like something way different than Mr. Flex likes. Might prefer totally different rides or whatever.
So when people always ask me like, "Hey, what's your settings?" I'm like, "No, man. Set your own settings to like what you like. Don't go like off of what I like."
Besides, it
Don't
would
go
take
off
them
of
just
my
as
bit.
long to copy yours. It's better if they just look at it.
Yeah,
Because I mean, they're self-explanatory. Look at what the option is,
exactly.
and then decide how far do you want to go, how much do you want to make, this, that, the other. You know, it's
And it's just $5 plus in just water. Jesus, you Fuji drinker.
wait, $5 on water. I spend $5 plus. Well, why don't you just buy a gallon of water for 90 cents? You know, that's like 3 days.
Fuji.
That's 2
It
days.
didn't come from the mountain.
Yes. So yeah, that's about really all I got, guys. I mean, there's a lot of information. I would definitely recommend to watch the video I made with David. Let me see what the title of it is. It's Para in the Frontier Forward, I called it. It was published on March 4th. If you haven't watched that, watch it. There's a lot of good information in there about Para. And then always feel free to, you can email me at steve@rideshare rodeo. You can also email me at steve@withpara.com. Yeah, I mean, I know Flex is always using these apps. I know Flex has done this enough where he probably don't need the apps either. He kind of has this down. I get that.
I just like the confirmation. I mean,
Right, but
I
it's
I
comforting.
was doing it without it too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying Flex is kind of a Jedi when it comes to this stuff. So he could, if the apps were down for the day, he'd still pull off a great day kind of thing.
Again, you just got to remember, you got that floating widget if you're using an Android.
Yeah.
So abuse it. Even if you're still using the app, the Para, you like still use your widget. I still use it too. When you minimize in your app, the fucking thing just shows up in the corner of your phone. Just click it. Show you the items. All you got to do is just look at the items. If you drive around in your area, you know your restaurants. So all you need to know is what kind of items are coming from those restaurants.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. And sometimes it shows you the subtotal right on the widget.
Yep.
Most of the time, DoorDash hides it. Sometimes they show it.
So this, by the way, guys, is for DUH. So
accept or decline.
acceptordecline.com. That's the quickest way. I mean, you can go to middletontech.com and go over to apps and see what different apps he offers to you. Because if you work Flex, not that Flex, but if you work Amazon Flex, he has an app for that. And he also has an app for Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, and Grubhub called MAXYMO. Same type of style, filters, all that kind of stuff. And for me as a rideshare driver, I know how important that one is. So any of you doing rideshare, coming back to rideshare, even considering it, even if you're doing Grubhub and Uber Eats now and you're considering rideshare, get on MAXYMO, because MAXYMO is a little different too. You can have 14 days for free. And you don't have to put a credit card down. You can just have 14 days for free. So you're not going to be tied into something that's going to charge you or something. And then then it won't work after that, and you'll end up buying it anyway. So, and that one's only $4.99 a month and $49.99 a year. So
dash or pass, accept or decline.
Dash or pass, accept or decline. You see this? Roy, the link was in the chat.
Scroll up a little bit, Roy.
I don't have my phone on, so I can't. I'm only seeing it through StreamYard. I can't pin anything or do anything. But
Let me see if I could grab it.
are the flags shared across the platforms? So, Mac, are you talking about? So the flagging through Para is done. This is with DoorDash that you're talking about, right? Because I don't know that you. I actually, that's a question that. So you know me. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you, and I'll have to look because I don't know that you can flag Grubhub. Like if Grubhub is wrong on the amount of miles or something, I don't know if you can flag that. But I think of it as just towards
other drivers.
Dies my flag show.
Does my flag show for other drivers?
Oh.
Look, if I would say try to just put a person's name, just for shits and giggles, put a person's name in there, and see if it comes up. And for next time, just in case, because I'm sure there's reoccurring customers. I get
right.
them times. I don't flag them.
Yeah, because if here's the thing, Mac. So Gary answered it right here, and this is correct. It does not show for other drivers because here's the thing. Otherwise, you'd have drivers getting great orders and putting in bad flags so that on the just off chance that they'll get that again, or trying to get people to not take those orders. I mean, we have people like that out there in this realm. So, I mean, a lot of them, in fact, that would sabotage others to get themselves ahead. So,
yeah, it's not a database for all the drivers to see. It's just a database for you, unique,
right?
One unique driver, that person.
Or like if you deliver to an apartment building, like David was saying in the piece we did, that like if you don't if you've been there before, it's gone bad. Now you did it again and it went bad. There's nowhere to park. Nobody tips from that place. You can just flag the whole building and say, no, I don't want to come here. And then that flag will come back to remind you when that offer comes in. Like that flag will be back there saying, you hate this place. Don't take it.
I got a question.
Sure.
For all the people that are using Para now, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Can you, for all the people that use it now, have any of you guys actually done the data and figured out how much of an advantage has Para really given you? Has it increased your earnings by 10%? Has it increased your earnings by 50%? Can you honestly, so if I was to let's say, promote Para to, let's say, another gig worker, can I say if there is data out there that can prove that, hey, you can make an extra 50% more on your earnings with using Para? Has anybody done that kind of data?
Yeah, but it's market specific. So what you would have to do is go out and use DoorDash for a week in Vegas, and then go out and use it with Para for a week, and then come back and say what you learned. And again, right, you and I know very well it's market to market. So your advice might not play out in Bozeman, Montana.
Yeah, but no, that I understand that part. But the ones that are currently using, I have yet to hear anybody come out and say, I've been able to make 50% more earnings using it versus prior to using it.
You can't say that. You know why? Because there's no guarantee what orders are going to come to your phone, bro. It's not like working at an assembly line to where it's like at a conveyor belt or working. You know what I mean? Like it's the same repetitive shit. Remember a few weeks ago, I could barely make like $100.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, but by using your logic, then what other than
it's confirmation. It's confirmation, like that way you don't gamble with the orders that come to your phone. That's the fucking problem. DoorDash is creating a giant fucking virtual fucking gambling service with the DoorDash orders.
Well, I was gonna backpedal a little bit, Roy, and say that I do know a lot of people that I talk to who can say to me that, that they're working the same amount of hours in a month and they're making a lot more using the Para app.
You see,
Well,
this
that's what I'm
is-
saying. I just, I've yet to hear anybody that consistently has used it, has consistently come on their channel and said, hey, yeah, I've increased my earnings by 50%, 25%. Because at the end of the day, if we're trying to promote something, there's got to be, other than the whole tip transparency thing, what else is there? How can you prove to anybody that you're actually making more money? We can say we're making more money, but how do you prove it to them?
Well, I
You know what
mean,
I'm saying?
I can't share anything, but I've had a lot of screenshots shared with me.
Okay.
People's overall earnings
Mhm.
in a week are way up when they use Para. Again, this is not a promotion to use Para. It's, here's a good example. It's the same thing as when I had Gary Middleton on the podcast and I said, hey, how do you explain to other people that they can make more money by using the apps? And he was like, well, I can't. And he kind of like just said it like that. He's like, I can't say that. You could set better parameters, but I can't say that. Yet we just did and then after the interview, he's like, I just couldn't say, yes, you do, because you do. I mean, he knows that people do. That's why they use it. But the same thing happened on our Monday MAXYMO roundtable. I had two of the old schoolers who had been using MAXYMO for years were like, I was like, do you have any kind of percentage on how much more you make with MAXYMO? And they're like, no, I mean, like I do better, and I've constantly tweaked my parameters. But then we had a guy, John, on who had only been using it 3 weeks, and he's like, he was able to say, well, in 3 weeks, I'm making 1.5 times what I was making per week now with MAXYMO. And so I think that the people who were 2 years into it were just so used to making more, they couldn't actually tell me, because they were like, I don't remember what I made before this.
Yeah, I'm just being plain devil's advocate.
It's a good
definitely
question.
make more. Like the reason why I'm saying, like, they're hiding it, and PAR shows it, right? If the order is gonna come in for $12, you're gonna sit here and decide, do I want to drive these 10 miles for these $12? When it really PAR gonna confirm it to you for like $34. You know what I mean? You're gonna be like, oh shit, let's go. 9 miles, 10 miles. We're gonna do this in like no time, compared to, oh shit, 12 fucking bucks, 9 miles. You know what? Let me decline that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to gamble.
Yeah. So maybe it's not every ride. I mean, maybe some are so short and you can just tell, I'm going to take that one kind of thing. But when you're a little iffy, Para's, if nothing else, Para's that like second voice, that second like confirmation to you. Like you're like, and Para, you can look over at Para and go, yep, I'm taking it, or nope, not
exactly. So, and ultimately, yes, you could earn a little bit more extra, but then how much more extra to earn? 50 or 60%? You can't tell. It's how much is that person willing to work?
Right. Again, this was based on a 3-week trial period for the guy who's just starting with MAXYMO.
Well,
he's making 1.5 times what he was the 3 weeks prior, working the same hours.
So, let me go on Flex with this one. How long have you been using ParaFlex?
For a long. Okay, so look. 1 year I made 80,000. The next year I made 65,000. Both using Para.
Okay.
So it's not, you know what I mean? It's not.
But there were other factors in the 1 year too.
We're trying to. That's what I'm saying. Where we can figure out your percentage. If the 1 year you made 65, and then the following year you made 80, you could say, okay, I made $15,000 more using the Para app. You see what I'm saying?
No. I made a little bit less because I worked a little bit less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like it's not.
I haven't gotten to that part yet. It's a 2-part question. The question would be, did you work less or did you work more? Or, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to figure out a way to put some kind of percentage on it, because people like that kind of shit. Like when you say that stuff, I can say, yeah, I'm making 15 to 20% more using the Para app versus, yes, I make more money. Like I said, anybody can come on here.
I never presented it that way to people. Like, hey, if you use Para, you're going to make more money. never ever once that, I don't know who presents it that way. I
Yeah,
don't.
I mean, and I don't either. Like, I'll talk people out of using it before I'll talk them into it. That's why I'm not a salesman.
Yeah.
I'm a advisor, and I'm supposed to be on the side of the drivers, not Para, even though I'm with
Well,
Team Para.
My thing was always, it shows what the other douchebags hide.
yeah.
Right.
Well, I was anti-par from the start. You guys know that.
I know.
Yeah, you were
So-
anti-para because against the
I-
TOS, right? Or
But a
Yeah,
lot of
it-
people were, and that's fine. I talked to thousands who were. Literally.
and there's probably fucking the DoorDash does fucking a lot of bullshit fucking things that against our TOS.
Right.
Like, come on.
Well, every one of the gig companies is an insult to the independent contractor.
You remember?
Well,
the
I've never,
Right.
I've never really looked at us as independent
Roy,
contractors.
remember the
I have
phone
never
call
looked
from
at
the
it
other day? Remember a phone call
What?
from the other day? I was on a phone call from the other day with the support service for like a half hour. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
bro, I accepted this order for $18, right? For $18, he's trying to give me a whatever $6.54, right? I'm like, bro, how is that a fucking half of the pay of $18, $6.54? And he's telling me it's not even $18, it's even more. It's like $44. And I'm like, bro, so half of the pay would be like 20 something dollars, but I'm not asking you for that because I didn't accept it for 40 something dollars. I accepted it for 18. He's
Well,
like,
here's a good point by Gary too. It is not, it's not to make more money, and no one should use percents as a way to promote it. But so here's the thing that basically, like, let's use Gary's app. Gary's app allows you to take these non-transparent companies that take advantage of us and filter out everything you don't want to do, period. I don't want to go farther than 20 miles. I don't want to go to this place. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do. It allows you to do that so you don't see anything. Para is like another level of, it's a different level of showing you, hey, here's the tip behind that. Just again, it's not like you should live off of what Para is telling you. It's just another piece of information that you should have before making a decision.
See, that's
I mean,
why I love
DoorDash spends tons of money making sure to cover this up. It should be available through DoorDash.
Yeah. See, this is why I love playing devil's advocate, because now you guys are explaining it a lot better than just what is normally explained. You guys are actually getting into, okay, this. That's why I like being a devil's advocate, and a lot of people think I'm like an asshole for that. But that's why I say the things I say, because then you guys get into the real particulars of the situation versus, because a lot of people, they don't explain the particulars like you guys are explaining now. Like, it does this, it really does, and you guys are going into further detail. So I love that. That's why I do the things I do.
I'm sure we just explain. I mean, they just you just have.
Yeah, but see, a lot of people don't explain it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody really gets in there and digs at you guys to like drill you about shit. Like, I'll drill you about it, and I get that kind of stuff.
That's why I'm always live, so motherfuckers could come in and ask, like, hey, how does this fucking work? You know what I mean? That's why I'm.
I've watched Flex, and I know you have, Roy, too, and I know most people in here. We've watched Flex enough to know that he's just not going to put out, even if he thinks it fully, he's not going to say something that could shoot him in the foot. It's like, he's not going to tell you, yeah, go get Para. It's the only way you can make money. Like, he's just telling you, if you ask him a question about Para, he'll give you an answer. It's kind of like one of those ask the right question, and he'll give you his best answer.
But that's the thing. A lot of people don't know what questions to ask. They just oh, I want to make more money. Because if we watch YouTube, it's all, everybody's all about money. So that's all they're really looking at. They're not going to ask those questions because they just see, oh, more money. They're not going to ask those kind of questions. So I'll ask those kind of questions because
that's what I asked on the MAXYMO thing. And even though Gary said you can't really do it, Gary didn't do it, and Gary wasn't allowed on that panel. I didn't, because he didn't even want to be. But I told him, no, you can't be on that panel because that's going to be the people who use MAXYMO, your app. But so I actually, one of the newer people was able to do it. and I know the guy well who's been using this for 3 weeks. And to be honest, you know, he wasn't using MAXYMO before. He's been using it for 3 weeks, and he was able to give us strong of making 1.5 times more. Part of that was because he actually took into account he's also taking less trips. He's working less hours because he's through the app. He's only seeing the orders he wants. So he's not having to sit out all the time and be like, crap. Now he can be a little more selective, and even sometimes maybe even be at home and wait for that first order with the parameters set that he wants for a first order. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that, I only regret. Oh, yeah. Well, the links are new. It's more just for, and then they've only gone out to a handful of people. That, you know, it's just to help those people, but also to get those people, the people that I gave links out to are because I know that they enjoy Para, not that they'll support it. And I gave out 5, and I know one other one was given out to Nugs. I don't even know Nugs. But so that one wasn't by me, but the other ones were given out by me but based on people that who use Para, like it and support it. Roy has one because I figured Roy's gonna like it. I'm just kind of shooting the dice here and thinking he's gonna like it, man. How can you not like making more money? So
Yeah.
I mean, so
Well,
I guess
that's one of
my
the-
ask to you, Roy, would be just turn it on, and are you seeing better?
Oh yeah, like I said, I had a death in the family, so I'm dealing with that kind of stuff right now. So my goal was to do it this weekend until I found out about that. Had to get a hold of family members and find shit out. But yeah, because I'll be honest with you, that's one of my biggest discouragements of when I'm out there dashing is having to just shit order. Like I haven't had the opportunity to do the Gary stuff yet, which that sounds to me like even more important than the Par stuff, because it can actually weed out the garbage that you don't have to look at your phone every time. Like fuck retarded order. You know, because that is my biggest discouraging factor. And when I'm out, is sitting there fucking crap. I'm just going home. Fuck it. You know,
Gary's app
part
has
of it,
thousands
you
of
gotta take it
settings.
easy.
You can literally tweet. I mean, if you want to dive into all the settings on Gary's app, there are settings that let you weed out everything you hate.
Yeah.
You know.
But
Gary's app is extremely important. I think the two pieces go hand in glove, to be honest. I think if you're going to use Para and you're really trying to optimize it and make as much as you can, you want DUH too. Absolutely.
Even if it just keeps more people motivated to stay out there, then it's worth it, in my opinion, because discouragement and sitting there and that constant decline, that fucking kills people's motivation. Let's fucking be honest. I'm going to be honest. It does mine. And I'm sure I'm not the only way. When like that, when you're sitting out there for hours, just hitting a decline button all the time, you know, I'm sure those apps alone would, help encourage people a lot more to work too, because then they're like, oh, they're only seeing the stuff that they want, and are willing to take. And that's important too. I think that would help.
See that? Roy, did you see this from Gary?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, because Gary's that one-man show, but he will walk everybody through everything. So but your area, Roy. I mean, like once you get into you'll instantly see filters that like people in other cities might not ever use, but you're like, oh, that's a setting I have to have.
Well, what is the like? Is that like a free app or something that you can use, or
no? That one's a charge, but I'm pretty sure that Gary wants to see you use it for a while. So I would contact Gary. So he would like your take on it. So I'm sure that he would he'll work with you a bit. He's given me a few free months because I told him I'm going to go trade in one of my phones for a Google Pixel or whatever, and I said, I really want to dive in because I'm going to be doing a roundtable on DUH, and I want to dive into it beforehand, like deep, and really use the settings. So he was like, yeah, I'll hook you up for a little bit to use it. So you know.
But I definitely think a lot of this is just, just some of these apps are really will help, I think, motivate people to stay out there more. And that could be one of the reasons they're making more money too, because they're only dealing with the stuff that they want versus having to constantly deal with the stupid, declines and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I think there are benefits to the apps. Like I said, I was really against it because first of all, like I said, nobody knew if you were going to get deactivated. And I was always about community, helping the community. And like I think Xander said earlier, is like, how are we helping the community if we're encouraging something that may get you deactivated and lose your job? So that was one of my biggest things also, is because I didn't take that risk because that's all I had to work. That was the only job I had at the time. So I didn't want to take that risk. So, and plus I'm also a strong believer in, remember, personal responsibility. You signed up for what you're doing.
Right.
So, and if you didn't need Para prior to Para, then what is the big deal about it now? You know what I'm saying? So
you just got to remember that a lot of these apps, they need to build their user base first. Like Corner Shop right now. I had Dash Theory on last week, and he was talking about Corner Shop, and he's like, I'm making $6 per mile on Corner Shop in Phoenix right now. And I said, yeah, but that's an Uber product. Once they're saturated in Phoenix and it's a year later, do you think you'll make $6? He was like, no, I'll make crap. So he's taking advantage of this year honeymoon period. When they launch and they do these TOSs, they do like, it's like, well, yeah, here's a ton of money that you'll make. And then they kind of as they get more people, they weed it down. So it's like they're manipulating the contract really constantly. And it never goes to the benefit of the driver. It's like, as we onboard more people, we are going to shaft you. And I get you're still agreeing to it, but the way that they even do that, like they don't email you a TOS update 2 days before. They have it on the app the day you want to work. So you open the app, and before you can work, you got to hit agree. And you're already in your car, you're planned to work, you're turning on. You're not going to go sit and read that TOS. They know it. It's mind games. I mean, if they were on the up and up, they would email it to you 2 days ahead of time. Say, read this before this date. Make sure you understand it. So I don't know. I question the ethics of every gig company out there. And these are tools. These are just tools to help you,
Oh yeah, I understand that. And that's why I think it'll help motivate. The more people that use them, they'll be more, excited to do the job. Because right now, a lot of gig worker morale is down the fucking toilet, So,
yeah.
And I think that's why we got such shitty ass workers out there, is because, when we were talking, somebody said something about ethics, and I said, well, a lot of gig workers have worse ethics than these fucking companies do. Eating people's food, stealing stuff and shit like that. So I think, the more of these apps that people can actually get involved with, it'll actually help the morale, and maybe we'd get a better services out of the actual drivers themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking about that too, like this does come, there is a point, guys, where it comes down to a moral compass question. I mean, with Gary's apps, you're just setting some filters, but with the Para thing, you do have to put in a little bit of your moral compass. With me, I'm very in touch with mine. I can tell, I think, I can't remember who I was talking to this about, but I know instantly, yes, I'm okay with that. No, I'm not. I never have to go, let me think about how I feel about that. I know how DoorDash operates. I know how they pay. I know how they are just holding drivers over the coals and abusing them left and right. So the fact that they're hiding things, that they're going out of their way and hiring coders to hide information to make sure we don't have what we need, all this, that, and the other, I am fine using Para because they are the most unethical company out there. So I'm okay with it, but I also understand the risk. Could I be deactivated? Yes. Has anybody ever been deactivated from Para? Not one person that we know of. And we've been in touch with a lot.
Yeah.
And now one person could prove it, or, the few that we even know people that called DoorDash support for Para questions and didn't get deactivated though.
I know.
They still had a DoorDash account.
Those are the fucking winners there that decided to do that.
So, I mean, if you can call DoorDash, if you're running a third-party app and you can call DoorDash, give them your information so they know who they're talking to, and tell them you're having problems with Para, wouldn't it stand to make sense that they would be like deactivate? You know,
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah, you know,
I mean, like, oh, you're using Para, you're done.
yeah. When I saw that video, that guy did that. I was like, oh my god, are you serious? Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking ridiculous.
So, I mean,
Oh,
know,
excuse me. Damn, I forgot I'm on your channel. I got to start the cursing. Oops, my bad.
it's Sunday, it's church day, so it's okay.
Sometimes I forget and I start cursing. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. So yeah, I know it's a confusing subject, man, and there is a little bit of a moral compass question that comes in, but I think that was the first round of Para last year was a lot more of a moral compass because none of us knew. And we were trying to portray that to everybody. But now there's a lot. These companies have even gone more downhill with their ethics.
Yeah.
We've already been through it. We've had 2 cease and desists at Para, and here is Para back up and running. And that should tell people volumes. You know, like a company like DoorDash has twice told us to knock it off. And, you know, now here's a third time that we're doing it again.
Yeah.
You know, we don't not, Para doesn't not have a lawyer. They have a very expensive lawyer, in fact. So we, you know, a lot of this gets talked about with him too. Like, hey, you know, and it's always, are the drivers at risk? Is we always are assessing everything, you know.
Yeah.
And me, I was pointing out earlier that, you know, when the first time that the tip transparency died, I moved to the ParaWorks team with Ellie, and Ellie's gone now, and it's some other people, but I still prefer that because I think one day that's going to be Para's biggest tool. I don't think it's going to be this transparency or anything. I think it's going to be ParaWorks. And so that's what I really want to focus my attention on with Para. I mean, I'm in every Para meeting, so I'm always brought up to date with all of the stuff surrounding tip transparency, Grubhub, DoorDash, the Uber Eats beta program, and all that. But I'm more focused on what we're doing with ParaWorks. So I think that you guys, as ParaWorks rolls out in cities near you, get on it quick because you can make, if you're doing Instacart, you can now make money on Instacart. I mean, it just makes it so for 5 minutes extra, you can make an extra $12. So it's, I mean, I don't know. There's some really big things coming down the chute with ParaWorks. But I also know that people love the transparency stuff, obviously. So I'm always up to date with it, but that's not my focus right now. But I'm glad it's making, you know, I mean, I'm glad it's back and it's doing what it's doing. I'm glad it's showing miles. I'm glad that the Uber Eats thing is showing an address so that you know how far that is. Again, that's in beta mode, so you have to let us know if you want to use that.
I can't drive for Uber. So.
Have you ever applied to just Uber Eats though, with a different email? You have? Not Uber.
Not with a different email. No.
You should try a different email and apply to Uber Eats. Because they don't run the same background check as they do for their rideshare driver. They don't really care. You're just delivering food in their book. They don't really care. But yeah, that's about it.
Well, how do you deal with the different? Well, we'll talk about that later. I'll ask you about that later.
Well, no, because
with the different email. How do you sign up for Uber Eats with a different email? My email still has my name. I still have to give them my name and.
Yep. But Uber Eats is a different department, like Tony. Hey, Dash Theory, what's up, John? Yeah, John, email me, and I can get you into the Uber Eats beta. So that goes for everybody. Just email me at steve@ridesharerodeo.com. Actually, or steve@withpara.com. Either one. I check Rideshare Rodeo a lot more. I check with Para app on weekdays pretty much, but I check it a few times on the weekends. But so yeah, just email me on either one of those and I can get you into that if you guys want to do that. But like, yeah, here's an example that I was just about to use that he's addressing you, Roy. So this is Tony, the Driven Dad. He has a video out about having a second Uber account. So if you go to Tony's channel and look at that, hey Tony, why don't you put the link in the show notes?
But doesn't the Uber Eats still go off when you give them your information? It's still Uber at the end of the day. If they put you in a computer, they still have your name, your license number, and all that other shit when you signed up.
They just treat the delivery side a lot different than the people who will be transporting passengers.
Well, that's what I said. When I signed up for Uber Eats, I did it specifically Uber Eats. I didn't try the ride share because the ride share, I was denied ride share like 3 years ago. I just tried to do the Uber Eats less than 6 months ago,
But you
and
did
they
it through
still
the
denied
same
me.
email. That email will get flagged right away
Oh,
as, oh no, dude, he was denied. But a different email will let them now go reassess you. And I know it's crazy. Dude. It's like, how is their database not catching my name and my social or whatever information they have? How's it not catching it and going, this is me? I would say go watch Tony's video, because I know he works too, and he does it because he's done, like me, uh he's done so many ride shares. He doesn't want his, because you can get deactivated for ride share for nothing now.
yeah.
He doesn't want his ride share deactivated because his Uber Eats and his ride share are on the same one. So he does his Uber Eats through one account. He does his ride share through another, so that the two don't intermix.
Yeah.
But that also can apply to not just wanting them to not intermix, but to just wanting to just do Uber Eats. But to do that, I think you're going to need to use a different address. I would say to watch Tony's video though. So
Yeah, I'll definitely watch his video on it.
yeah, I mean, right here, too, like you use a different email address and then you do this. You select no ride share option, because I know
Yeah, I
that
did all that.
okay, because I was
I
gonna say
tried it.
back when you did it, I don't even know if they had it. It was like if you applied, you got accepted for both.
Yeah.
And then it allowed you, do you want to do Uber Eats? Do you want to do Uber rideshare? They didn't really have that out for, I don't want to do rideshare.
Well, I know when I had my Postmates, when Uber Eats bought Postmates, they killed my Postmates right off the bat. Like boom, it was done. So
yeah.
the
other thing too, Dash Theory just put it up here, is that, so you get a second email, and then create a second Google email, and then with that Google account, get a free Google Voice account. They're free, and you'll get a free phone number.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you're activated, you can take that phone number out and swap it back to your normal. But you can have the app on your phone where that phone number works. So, but that's part of it, is that getting around it like that.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, because Driven Dad even use a throwaway phone number too. See, that's exactly what. And so, yeah, Tony, if you can, man, please pop that link into this chat.
Yeah, he did. So I'll go check it.
I didn't see it. Okay, great. Well, that's about it. Just wanted to kind of let everybody know. I'm hoping that I want to take this back down and compartmentalize it too into some sections, like, the basics and some short videos, so that people can go, okay, it's only 3 minutes, I'll watch it.
Yeah, because when I signed up Uber to do the actual ride share, and then and they declined me, and then I signed up for Lyft, and Lyft accepted me. So I don't even know why Uber ever not let me go on there, because Lyft let me drive for 3 years, and Uber, from the day one I tried doing Uber, they said no. So I don't know what it was all about. Yeah.
And you applied for Uber first.
Yes.
Yeah,
and they said no. They
said
said you can't do.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean,
so
I will tell everybody that now those two companies do data sharing. So if you get deactivated from one, they send it over to the other immediately.
Yeah, but that was funny. Yeah, I signed up to do Uber first. They said no, so then I'll go ahead and do Lyft, and I signed up for Lyft. Lyft accepted me, and I drove for Lyft for 3 years. So I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Uber's one of the scammingest companies, and yet they're one of the harder ones sometimes to get on too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they're one of the sketchiest ones, but they're also, they're also one of the.
Well, that's one of my next things. That's one of the next things, getting part of my life back together, is trying to get my record expunged so I can have access once again to all this different stuff that I don't have access to now because of my records. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many apps take it that if you're not transporting people, I don't know how many apps do that deep dive on you though, where they would care, like how Lyft accepted you or DoorDash did. I think that's how most are, unless they're doing some kind of deep dive search.
Well, because there are when it comes to rideshare, they have specific things you can't do. like damaging somebody's personal property is automatic. You can't do rideshare. That's one of the things. You can rob people, but you can't do shit like that. There are like certain parameters, like when it comes to the TNC, the network, whatever the taxi network company or whatever it goes under. There are certain like criminal things you can't do, and one of them just happened to be damaging somebody's personal property. So that's why.
You can steal, but you can't be violent.
Yeah, Tony put it up there. No punching cars, Roy.
Yeah, no punching other people's cars.
That's a deactivation.
I mean, you can't control it sometimes. It wasn't a car. It was a bird flew into your car. It wasn't you.
No, trust me. He got stopped, dude, because I saw the pictures of my knuckles on his fucking quarter pound.
Yeah, and see,
So
Matt, like
fun.
here's I'm glad Mac, I'm glad you put this in right as we're kind of winding this up too, because I know Mac well. So Mac got deactivated on a false checker pull. I mean, what do you expect from a company that charges $29 to do a background check on you? Come on. $29. I mean, I can't. That's
the person.
That's what they charge per person if you do bulk rates with them. Like, I don't, if you called and said, could I, you can't, but if like you just needed one pulled, it'd probably be a couple $100 or something. But like, if you have a bulk rate with them, they're just $29 a person. So they're literally just running the most basic surface stuff.
Yeah.
They don't care. They, as far as I know, they're even willing to overlook a lot of things because they're not looking for them.
Well, like I said, that really depends on the network that you drive. Like every city's different when it comes to what rules you're allowed to drive under. There's, like I said, here it's some stupid shit. Like I said, like damaging somebody's personal property. What does that have to do with me being a Lyft driver? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I like 5 years ago, like crashed into somebody's fence backing up into the thing, and they get mad and I'm being deactive. I can't get a job because of that. That's stupid to me. Like it's, so there's some weird shit they got where, they won't let you drive for crazy, some of the dumbest stuff. Like,
I mean, we know people that, and I mean, I know some people might just say this too. Like, I got deactivated for no reason. Yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of you out there who had a reason.
Okay, but
I do know some people who really didn't do anything and got deactivated, literally, like just because the checker background came back, and they won't even double check to see, Uber won't even call and see, hey, are you sure you guys did the right person on this one? They won't do anything for you. If checker says no, they say no. So if checker screws up a lot, their accuracy rate is not that good. Like the data they pull, often it's on the wrong person. It's they send it through as the wrong person. All kinds of things happen. It's like the algorithm at YouTube. What actually grabs it to make your video boom? We don't know. So like, are they, when they say you're not accepted, is it you or is it somebody else that wasn't accepted and somehow got mixed up?
Yeah. And well, you got a lot of people, identity theft, that, they could be driving for Uber and under your name, and then they fuck up and then you get in trouble.
Right. So. Or even like you just said, identity theft, and then it was reported, and now somebody tried to use your information to sign up for Uber, was denied, and then a month later you actually do try and sign up and you're denied too because they're like, no, that's that identity theft thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, there's so many factors that can go into why they don't. But the worst part about it is you could be one of the best drivers out there and get deactivated tomorrow and never know why. They'll never tell you why.
Make sure don't ever put your name out there.
He said get a judge
and sign you up for like 10 different accounts.
That's a huge process of getting your record expunged, driven down. It's a huge process.
What, money?
About $3,500, and then you got to go do, get your fingerprints done. You got to get a court date to go in front of a judge and explain why you want your shit expunged. You have to do the whole 9 yards.
What do you mean? Yeah, it's obvious reasons. You want a fucking job.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. You could spend the whole $35 to get the attorney because you have to have an attorney. You can't do it yourself. You have to have an attorney.
They want more money.
You could go through a whole process, pay your $3,500, do all the shit they want. You could go in front of that judge and say, hey, I would like to my thing expunged. These are the reasons. And the judge could still say, no, we're not going to expunge it. So then you're out all that money and you still can't get what you want. So that's a gamble sometimes, depending on, you know, maybe a judge is having a bad day and the goes says, fuck yourself, you know, and then you're like, oh shit, you know, I'm out all this money, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's a huge process to go through.
I think that's why it's worth meeting with a couple of attorneys and seeing what they think. Because most attorneys I know anyway will be honest and say, listen, this is a long shot. Or, yeah, we can do this, but it's going to cost this. Like you were saying, you know, like, yes, this is doable. I can see the path. We can make this happen, but it's going to cost, probably in the end, it's going to cost upward of $5,000. They might tell you, you know, and that just is what it is. The next guy might say, hey, I don't think I can do this for you.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah, and the shit was to get expunged was the punch in the car.
Say what?
The punch to the vehicle. That's the only shit that needs to be expunged, or there's a lot more shit.
Look at Roy, he's off.
No, there's three charges on my record that need to be taken off.
I got you. Never mind.
So yeah. Well, guys.
I have to Will Smith myself. Oh, that Roy.
All right, guys.
Well, I don't want to hold this up anymore with my shit. So.
No, I just wanted to, you know, this was good. So I'm gonna try and break down some shorter videos too, but that just gotta maybe help you through it, because there is a lot of disinformation out there too. And I don't know if with some people it's that I've actually talked to some people who are like, you know, like that are putting out disinformation, and this happened before too, where when I got down to the ones who would truly answer me on why is this happening, why are you doing this, they were getting to the point of, oh dude, we're trying to help you because if people learn about para, they'll shut it down. They already know about para. Like, don't give disinformation for that reason, and definitely don't talk. I mean, I can't stop anybody from do what you want, but I would recommend don't talk about your experience on para as fact. Don't turn that into fact, because I can guarantee you I can come on there and most of the time tell you why it's not fact and it's wrong.
Yeah.
So a lot of people take their personal experience and say, here's the problem with para, it does this. That might not be true at all.
Yeah.
That's just what they experienced.
And I've already accepted. I've already come to accept the consequences that when I use para and I say I use it, I'm going to get a ton of shit. So I've already accepted that.
But if it's making you more money, who cares, man? And if you're okay,
at the end of the day, yeah, you know, I had a reason behind that.
Listen, like I said, tell me who says something to you.
You know, I had a reason for using it before because I couldn't afford to be deactivated, and that was such an uncertain thing. So. Yeah. At this point now, yeah, I'm gonna fucking give it a try. Why not? If it goes back at the end of the day to help the community, and then I'm gonna do it. Fuck, you know, I've already accepted.
Yeah,
I can be a hypocrite every now and then if I have to be. So fuck it.
No, you just learn. I mean, heck.
Yeah, exactly.
In that first round, a lot of people were like, "Whoa, I don't know if I feel good about this." So I'd tell everybody then don't do it. But you know, it's like we're past that. It's back. You know, you should feel a little more confident, and all the people are still using it. Nobody ever got in trouble. It was they were mad at us. They were mad at the company, not at you guys. You know, you know, I think I made that reference earlier about when you catch a drug dealer, you don't want to pin him to the wall. You want to get his supplier. So
yeah,
you know, it's like they knew where it was coming from. They wanted para, not the users.
That's Gary's number. Give him a text.
Is that? Oh, that's you, man. I don't even have you. Huh? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
he's like, who's like, who texted me?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I gotta put it on my.
Don't you ever say this number to anyone?
No, I don't give out people's numbers. I'm not like, oh, that's an Omer thing, man.
I think.
Wait, really? Because I just gave Omer my number, but I told him don't give it out.
Yeah, you need to make a few features for Omer on fucking Para, like where to hide the fucking curly fries, and you know, because he likes to eat.
Omer, if you're still listening, don't give my phone number out, man.
He likes to eat. He likes to eat people's curly fries and fucking run into trash cans and all kinds of shit. So you need some special Omer features, man.
867-5309. That's funny. That's my buddy's number.
What? That's a song.
I know.
Yeah,
Oh,
parodies
I know it's a song, but
parodies come up with a proximity. Yeah,
that's
they need
crazy,
a proximity sensor for Omer. Can we get a proximity sensor for Omer in the app so he doesn't run over trash cans and shit?
dude. He was using it yesterday. It worked for him. I was watching him.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh
it
no,
was-
I'm saying he's ran into people's trash cans, bro,
Oh,
on
yeah,
live
yeah.
stream. He's eating people's curly fries, customers' curly fries on a live stream. He fucking dropped somebody's fucking slushies on the ground. He's done it all, man. So poor Omer, man. He's
Well, maybe now he won't. Now that he's using Para and
yeah. That's
other
what I'm saying.
apps
If
and
Para
UH
put like a proximity sensor, so when he's backing up, he doesn't hit the garbage cans. It'd be good. It'd be good.
Yeah, maybe if I'm watching a live stream, I'll like just from another phone number, I'll text him if he does something weird, and I'll be like, "This is Para. Please don't run over trash cans."
Exactly.
So then he freaks out and he's like, "Wait, how do you guys know that?"
Right.
Okay,
You
so
got 2 feet.
everybody do that to
send them
Omer.
random notifications.
Yeah. You got 2 feet before you hit that trash can. He'd be like, "What?"
The blonde curly fries.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys, I'm gonna get to having some time with my son before his
Cool.
spring break is over here. So
Hey,
thanks for coming in today, and
not a problem.
hopefully this was helpful to some people. So
Definitely.
use Para or don't use Para. You know, use DUH for sure. Use MAXYMO and even Flex Alert. I don't know many people who do Flex Alert Amazon Flex anymore, but I know Gary's creating a second Flex Alert that lets us know where Mr. Flex is at all times. So that's the app I want. To GPS Flex at all time. Oh, there he is.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a
All
great
right, guys.
Sunday.
I'm going.
Peace.
Bye.
Later on.